Hey everybody, what's going on? Welcome to Third Wave Trades, where we discuss and perform technical analysis on various stocks and commodities. Today, for my first video, I would like to be going over Marathon Digital Holdings, ticker symbol MARA, kind of just to see where the stock is headed. It's catching a lot of traction right now as it's linked with the Bitcoin. Bitcoin just broke 30,000 for the first time in 10 months yesterday, and we saw that carry over to stocks like Coinbase, Marathon Digital, and Riot. So, kind of just want to go over what I see happening with the stock in the technical side and kind of give my input on what I think are some good positions to take on the trade. Before we get started, just want to say that this is not financial advice. I am not a financial advisor. This is only for entertainment purposes and information purposes. So please be careful when trading, as it's very risky, and make sure you guys manage your own risk accordingly. Also, if you guys get a chance, please like the video if you find this helpful, subscribe, and hit the bell notification so you guys can get all my alerts for the rest of my videos as well. I plan on doing another video for Tesla, Nvidia, and a couple of other stocks in the next coming days. And also stay tuned because I will be starting a live trading channel as well. All right, so to get started, the first thing I want to talk about or kind of go over in the technical analysis is I want to look at what's happening from a Wyckoff standpoint. So just to get a bigger picture first, we could like zoom out and see basically we've been for the past couple of years, since 2022 at least, we've been on this corrective wave, right? So we had a run up in 2021, like this massive run in at the time when crypto was running, Bitcoin was running, Ethereum, and a lot of stocks were running. And Marathon Digital actually ran pretty high. We reached $83 in November of 2021, and since then we just saw a massive sell-off for the past year and a half, basically, which basically ended this past December, January actually, where we hit a bottoming point over here at about $3.26. So since then, what's been happening? After hitting that bottom point, we had a nice rally. We had a nice month rally where the stock went up roughly 215% in about a month. So in 34 days, we went up 215%, where we actually ended up hitting $10 and change. Since then, we've been trading sideways, and then yesterday, off of the news that Bitcoin hit 30,000, Marathon ran up heavy again today and yesterday, having some really nice moves. You can see this is the daily chart, daily time frame. We can see we had two massive green days. Today we wicked off a little bit on the top side, but still great candles with good volume as well. So is there more upside? That's the question. And again, I want to take a look at this from a Wyckoff standpoint. So it looks like we are in a reaccumulation phase, right? Based off of this initial rally, right? So we had this rally, and over here we can identify we have our preliminary supply, we have a buying climax, followed by an automatic rally, secondary test, another secondary test to the downside, to the top side. Then we had the spring movement, right, which is basically kind of like in our support zone, or you could kind of say like your demand zone. We got in here, and every time we've been in the zone, we've had a strong movement out of it, and this looks like it really was the spring, right? So this is where the composite man, if you guys are familiar with the Wyckoff method, would have wanted us to sell or take short positions. Um, but if you were a buyer over here, then you got great movement to the upside off of this spring from this reaccumulation phase. So now where does that leave us? So we sprung up, got we got preliminary support over here, last preliminary support, and what we will be looking for, we kind of came back into this resistance zone, this resistance area, right, where we've had a couple of tests. As you can see, this is also where the massive sell-off started, the most recent massive sell-off started. So we closed in that. We wicked out above it. So what this shows me is that this zone is no longer a major threat because we were able to get in here and close right at the top of it. Would have been a lot nicer if we were able to close above it, but it's still fine. We were able to penetrate this zone and hold in there. So it'll be interesting to see what happens in the next couple of days. What I would like to see, if this move is going to continue, right, is a little bit of what we over here. I have this written as SOS, a sign of strength, right? If we see some kind of accumulation in this area, reaccumulation or whatever, a little bit of sideways movement, consolidation, then a breakout to the top side, so another move up, and then this could go on for a little while, right? Where we consolidate, take a new level, consolidate, take a new level. So that is what I think we are having over here, right? With this reaccumulation phase, right? With the Wyckoff method, something like that will be interesting to see. Again, volume is picking up on these candles. It does look like we will have a nice move to the top side. How high can we go? Well, that's where I want to bring you guys over to the second phase of my analysis, which will be the Elliot Wave Principle. So leaving this to the side right now. Actually, before I do that, I do want to mention another pattern just from technical analysis. I'm sure you guys are all familiar with, which is the inverse head and shoulders. So over here, it looks like we kind of have a slanted neckline, but the pattern is still there. Right, we have our left shoulder, we have our head, and then we have our right shoulder, and the neckline, like I said, is somewhat slanted going up, but we did, after today's price action, close above it. So that is a very good sign as well, that we will have a good move to the top side. Inverse head and shoulders and head and shoulders themselves are very strong patterns. I believe they are pretty accurate. I want to say about 65% of the time. I'll pull up that stat for you guys when I get a chance. I don't have that open at the moment, but they're very powerful technical patterns to trade off of. So we have the head and shoulders, right, which kind of goes along with our reaccumulation phase over here from the Wyckoff method. So I just wanted to point that out. Now, the next thing, how high can Mara go? So for that, I want to show you guys my wave count, right? If you guys are familiar with the wave principle, which I hope to actually be making a couple of educational videos on wave theory and the Wyckoff method as well. But there are plenty of videos on other channels that you guys can come across to learn this. I do want to do one for myself as well. But essentially, the wave principle, for those of you who are not familiar with it, says that price action moves up in predictable wave patterns. Impulse waves move up in 5 waves, and corrective waves move down in 3 waves. And there are a few more rules to it than that, but like I said, I'll be putting that video out shortly, so stay tuned for that. So where is where are we in the wave count principle? Well, again, zooming all the way out and going back to all this, we can take a wave count going back to 2020, and we can say that we had a 5 wave sequence over here that we topped out in in November 2021, and from that point on we were correcting, right? Now, what the exact wave count over here is doesn't really matter for now. The idea is that this was just one this was just one major impulsive wave, and since then we've been correcting. The correction did not come lower than our origin starting point, so that's why we could say that this was a large first wave and this was a second wave. It hasn't violated any of the rules of the wave principle. So if that's our large first wave, this is our second wave. Now we're beginning another impulsive wave going up. So what does that look like? Again, we're going to start from the bottom of where we hit in December, the end of December of last year. And from there, we can see that basically we've been moving up. We had a 5 wave sequence here that lasted about a month. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that's a perfectly good count. Then we had a 3 wave correction, WXY, and now we look like we are in the middle of a third wave, right? Now, for those of you who know about the wave principle, the third wave is usually the most impulsive wave. And I'm just going to hide this channel for a second. There are ways that we can measure how high we think this wave can go. So, and for that we use the Fibonacci extension tool, right? So the most common extension for a third wave is the 161% levels. So we're going to take our tool, we'll draw it from the bottom of this first wave, apply it to the top of the first and the bottom of the second, and you can see it kind of gives us a level right here at $15.64, right? So that there's a lot of upside still to be had, right? And that wouldn't even be the totality of the move, but for the immediate future, that's what we're looking at, right? So again, we had this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We had this 3 wave correction, starting now a new wave to the upside, which will be broken out into 5 waves as well. So within that third wave, it looks like we completed a first wave, a second wave, and now we are on the third of the third waves, the 3 of 3, right? 1, 2. I think we are in the third wave of that. So again, everything is looking very, very bullish right now for Mara. Given that we are in the middle of this wave, I do think that we have a lot of room for upside. The stock closed today at $10.28, and it hit a high of like $10.60, 68 cents. So there's still a lot of room for this thing to run. I personally am long this stock right now, and I'm playing options a couple of weeks out. So I'll keep you guys updated on my position, and I'll keep you guys updated on this play. But this was something that I was monitoring for a while. When I saw this pattern play out in 5 waves, and I saw this ABC already over here, once we started to get this bounce back and we broke above this X, I was already keeping an eye on this to see where we were going. And as you guys can tell from the name of my channel, Third Wave Trades, this is my bread and butter. This is what I like to trade. which is third waves. Why? Because third waves are the most impulsive, right? They are the largest waves according to the wave theory to trade. So if you can get into a third wave and ride it from beginning to end, there's those turn out to be great trades. So that's kind of like what I'm going to be focusing on in this channel, is trying to point out per wave theory, and using some other methods as well, just basic technical analysis and the Wyckoff method, supply and demand, but primarily relying on wave theory to find third wave trades. Great setups where we can get into a play for long positions or short positions, where because we can have impulsive waves to the downside as well, but finding positions where we can actually have big solid returns, right? That's how I like to trade. That's what I look for in my trades, and that's kind of what I want to provide you guys with. So yeah, that's all I have right now for Mara. We like I said, we just based off the candles, you can see we had 2 great days. Volume is picking up. We appear to be in a reaccumulation phase according to the Wyckoff method. So we sprung down here at $5. We've been hitting our preliminary supports, our last point of support. We're looking for a sign of strength and more move to the upside. In terms of the wave principle, we do look like we are in the third of a third wave, with the potential to reach about $15 before we correct some more, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then maybe some sideways correction to a 4th wave here, and then another 5 waves up is what I'm looking at. So I'm personally got long today. I was waiting for us to clear the top of this first wave of the third wave, and that's when I got in, and I'm hoping to ride this third wave for as long as I can, and then I'll keep an eye on where the stock goes. So yeah, that's all I got for today. If that was helpful, please comment. Please let me know what you guys think about it. This is my first video. I will be posting more if there are other stocks and tickers that you guys want me to take a look at. Please feel free to drop them in the comments section. If this was helpful, please leave a like, please subscribe, and I will be back with another video shortly. Thanks a lot, guys. Bye.